Hi everyone, welcome back to the CSFX Works, and today I'm going through a repair of Brother MFC-5890CN. This is an A3 MFC printer that has been produced by Brother at the end of 2010, and actually you can see that it doesn't have any electrical problems powering on and that sort of things, but when you go to print nozzle check, you can see that there are well, a lot of problems with the head. So you can see here I have a nozzle check, and we have a lot of problems with the all four colors, and even after flushing of the printhead, so I took the printhead out, I flushed it with cleaning solution, and then taking the printhead back then inside, you can see that there are no ways that I can get perfect nozzle check, and I have done everything to clean this printhead, and none of the options that I tried worked. So yeah, this is an A3 printer. I can resell this for a very good amount of money, so I'm gonna repair this. And I have both another printhead that is certified sort of to be new, and I really don't trust this, so I think this printhead is just unused and flushed and perfectly working one. But I cannot guarantee that this printhead is new, so I can just take it off. So you can see this is the head, and we're gonna take this inside here. So the head is actually filled or partially filled with cleaning solution, so yeah, it's even safe to take it outside, but I will just stick it inside here until I have to replace the head on the printer. So I just take the box again closed, and we're gonna replace the head. So first thing you have to do is to power off the printer. This guide is also for a lot of other Brother printers, because the mechanism of the printhead assembly is nearly the same of a lot of other printers, but I'm just doing a demonstration on the MFC-5890CN. So yeah, next thing you have to do is to remove the power cord, because we don't have any electrical connection to the inside of the printer when we are working on this. So now you have to open not the scanner unit, but now you have to open not the scanner cover, but the scanner unit of the printer. And with a simple screwdriver, with a Phillips screwdriver, you have to remove some screws. So in this printer you can find 4 screws on the front panel, but some printers have 2 or 3 or 5, so it depends. So in this case, one here, 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 and here. So I will just remove those. Okay, so now that I have removed these screws, I can just lift up the whole panel, and we can just lift it up and disconnect from the latches on the bottom by just trying to pull it like so. Yeah, so here in the inside, most of the cases you will find a flat cable that you have to gently remove, and another cable with a connector, so you have to remove this part of the printer. At this point, in some cases, you will have just removed this and this cover and proceed to the later operation, but as soon as this is a pretty uncommon printer, I will just do the whole disassembly of this. So I will have to remove this, and this covers. So I will just remove this big screw here, and then I will remove this cover. So just slide off like this. Okay, so then we have to remove this cover right here, and it will slide off like the other one, but you can see that it doesn't come off because we have to unplug this cover first. And here we can find two latches. One is here and one is here. You can simply take it out with your finger, so you can see the two latches here. So yeah, and now you will be able to even get out this panel. So yeah, so now we have to remove the scanner unit. In order to remove the scanner unit, we will have to unplug the scanner unit from this part over here, this part that takes the scanner open. So pay attention not to break this part because it's very fragile. So yeah, this part is now completed. Now you have to pull out this cover. It will come off like in a simple way with your hand. Just don't drop it like I do. So even this is the same. Now you have to remove the flat cable over here. So we have a black flat cable that we have to remove. It's just a matter of pulling out, doing a very high attention to this because flat cables are always a lot of fragile. So yeah, now you have to remove this from the guide of the printer this way, and now it's removed and it's free. So now we have to remove those cables inside here, and you can see that there's a screw that holds up two ground cables. So we will just have to unscrew this, okay, and then you can remove just the two cables. Disconnect the cables that are inside here and remove them. So okay, so I have removed the cables. Just remove them from the guides, and then you will be able to lift up the whole scanner system. It's very heavy in this case because it's an A3 scanner in an A3 MFC, so yeah, with even the ADF. So let's take this at a side and let's proceed with the disassembly. So now you have to rotate the printer because we have to remove the rear cover. So here you can see that there's a paper jam and this cover at the back. We have to remove this because we have to remove this in order to lift up the whole printer assembly. So now you can just unscrew a lot of screws because in this printer there's two here, one here, and one here, and several other in the front. So you just have to unscrew all the screws that locks down the printer cover, so the main printer cover. So I will just do all of them. Okay, so now that you have removed all the screws, you can see that we have another cable here that connects to the speaker that is used mostly for the beeps of the printer. And here we have a battery. So I will not remove the battery just for the fact that this battery may hold some important EPROM informations like the waste ink container values and other adjustment values of the printer. So I will let it connect to the main board while I will just take out the whole printer cover. It's a bit difficult with one hand always. Okay, so we'll just remove this. So now we have full access to the internal of this printer, and you can see actually that we have to replace the wasting container, and it's a thing that I will do really after I have replaced the printhead, but this video is only about the replacing of the printhead in this printer. So this is where it gets a bit tricky. So we have to rotate the printer in a position that it's comfort to us to work with the printer assembly. So here you can see that the head is locked in place. But if I move this motor gear, you can see that it gets free. So now you have to remove the encoder, so the encoder strip of the printer, because it gets into the printhead. So now we'll get out this. Pay attention not to scratch it or damage it or even take it dirty, because it's a very important part of the printer. So now we have to remove this belt from the motor and the other parts of the printer. So I will just take it out from here, from this spring-loaded thing, and even from the motor. So here we have a free printhead. Well, at least free. For now, only on the X. Okay, now you have to remove the cover that covers the printhead PCB. So now you have to take a flat screwdriver for this, and you will have to detach some parts of the cover and just remove this. Okay, so now I have removed the printhead cover, as you can see, and here we have the PCB. So here you have to make a lot of attention, because this is a flex cable, so you have to disconnect it, but it's locked, so you have to unlock these two black latches that locks down the flat cable. So now we can easily take it off. As you can see, it's pretty simple. So now we can easily take out the PCB. So this PCB needs to be removed from the whole assembly, like so. And we even have to remove, obviously, the tubing, because it's a part of the printer, not of the printhead. So this is a point where a lot of people get scared, because a lot of Epson printers and maybe other brands have a sort of pressurization of the ink compartment. So they will just be worried about the fact that oh my god, if I just unplug this, I will spray ink over the place. It's not this the case, because Brother never applied this solution in any of the printers that it made. So we have just to remove this metal spring, and then we will be able to remove the tubing, and there it is. So now you can see that the ink will flow right into the cartridges. That's fine, because even if we have air inside of it, inside of the tubing, the printer will automatically remove all the air when getting the new ink inside of the printer. And you know how? You can see that there's a section here that is directly connected to the pump. So it's not only the printer nozzle plate that is connected to the pump, the purge pump, but it's also this part that is connected to the purge pump. So it will firstly suck out all the air, and then it will do the real ink charge. So it's a pretty neat thing of this Brother printer. So next order of business is to remove the whole carriage. So let's slide it at the right side and lift it up, because yeah, it's pretty simple. So here now we have to remove the belt, because as always it's part of the printer assembly, it's not part of the printhead assembly. So we'll just remove the belt, and this is just a piece of junk, actually, I think. So now I will take the new head from the original, or not original, box, and you can see that there's a lot of shipping fluid inside here. We just have to reconnect the belt to the carriage, and this is a pretty simple operation, just a matter of inserting the belt inside here, and it's pretty locked in place now. So you can see it's locked. Now you have to take the printhead back inside of the printer. So with the belt in this position, you can see I will just take the printhead inside here, and then I will just be sure that it's not touching the belt or any part of the printhead, and then I will just slide it inside here, so like so. And now we have a connected printhead unit with the belt. Yeah. So now we can just reconnect the belt, because we don't need the belt disconnected anymore. So yeah. Now we just have to reconnect the whole thing. So you can see that there's air inside here. That's not a problem, I guarantee you. So in order to reconnect the ink system, there's a special seal that you don't have to forget, and you can take it from the older printhead. This is a seal that goes onto the printhead itself and connects the printhead to the tubing. So we just need to take it inside here. Okay, so now you can see that it's flat on the surface on the printhead. So at this point you can see here it's full of air. It's completely full of air, but it will purge out the air, I guarantee you. So I will just take the tubing inside here again and the spring. So just load the spring in place. So now we have to take the PCB units inside again, so I will just slide it inside here. Okay, the flex cable is inside. I will just let it pass through here. Okay, so pay attention to the flat cable obviously, and slide it inside here. So yes, so this is ready actually. So we have to reconnect the flex cable inside. Yeah, then reconnect the two latches of the flat cable. Nice. And now we will have to take the cover of the printhead on the printhead again. So it's just a pretty simple operation. Just last order of business, be sure that the flex cable is passing through the correct spots. Okay, then take the cover on the printhead assembly again. So pay attention to the tubes, and as you can see now, we have a completely working, I hope, printhead. So now you have to remember that we have to insert this inside. So here you can see that there's a little arrow that indicates the up. So you have just to take it inside here and slide it here, and then take it inside here with the arrow indicating the up. So now you can see that the printhead is working correctly, and it's moving correctly on here. So now a thing that I always recommend to do is to apply new grease to the printer when you replace the printhead, because a lot of grease gets onto the printhead, and yeah, I think it's better to just take a bit of new grease here, just a few spots inside here. So slide the printhead in every direction. Okay, so now we have even fresh grease inside of the printer. So the reassembly is really the same of the disassembly of the printer, but I will show this. But first I have to clean, or well, better, replace this compartment over here. So I will do that, and then I will just show you how to reassemble the printer. Okay, welcome back. So I have replaced the sponges in the main waste ink absorber, and now I have to reassemble the printer and test it. And after that, after I have seen that it works perfectly, I have to reset the waste ink counter inside of it. So now let's take the main printer chassis on it again. So obviously I was taking it in the wrong direction, but yes. So now we can slide this inside here and remove the battery from here, because remember the battery has to be out of the chassis. So yeah. So now I will move this printer in this direction and check that everything is okay before closing. So this fits perfectly. This came out from the wrong direction, so I have to take the battery here and out of here again. Okay, that's fine. So now it fits perfectly. So let's take the battery inside here. Okay, so now it's just a matter of screwing this again. Pay attention to everything that you do, because if you complete the reassembly of the printer and then realize that you forgot something, that is a waste of time, and you have to have a lot of patience. So you just have to be sure to everything that you do is correct. So just remember what screws get where and everything about this printer. So pay attention even in the disassembly, because that's where you see and realize what you will have to do when you will reassemble the printer again. Now the rear cover. And now the most funny part, the so heavy scanner unit. Yeah, so just slide in like you removed it, so like so. Then pay attention to when you insert the flex cable inside of the printer guides, not to break it. After you finish with the section, just take the cover on it again. Then you have to take these cables inside here again. So just take this inside of the guides and then connect into the printer the connector. So another one, and this needs the screw. Let's take the other one here. So it's not important if you don't get the exact cable in the exact same guide, because all the two guides led into the same spot, but you just have to be sure that if you take too much cables inside here, you would be in the situation that you don't have any space to take those cables, and you would have a little bit of a problem when you open and close this scanner unit, because you can see that when I close this scanner unit, those cables move a little bit. So if they are locked in place, it could be a bit of a problem. Yeah, taking this cables inside here, and I have to do it with one end, even if I'm not recording from my hands because I am holding the scanner unit, because if it falls on my display, yeah, I would have a really bad time. Yes. And it's a nightmare. It's a real nightmare. Okay, maybe I've done this. So you have to pay attention that one cable has to go in one place and the other one in the other place, because yeah, you don't want to force plastic in any way. So now you have to take this inside here again, so like so, and reinsert this into the scanner unit. Now don't forget the other covers. So here we have the I think this is this side over here, of course. So I will just take it in this place. It's not the okay, and then take the screw inside. Then the other cover here. So I think this goes in this direction. Yeah, goes in this direction. So it's a bit tricky to get this in the correct spots. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I will just take the correct screw, so the big one, inside here and screw it in place. Then we can take the other cover on the front. So something like this. It goes on the other side and then goes here. Okay, so now we just need to reconnect the panel and we are done. So just connect first this, just because it's less fragile. And then I will connect the flat cable. So be sure that every one of these latches on the bottom goes in the correct spot before screwing this. Okay, so moment of truth time, because on the Brother printers there's an infamous error like the Epson 0x9A or the Canon B200 that indicates that the printhead is not behaving correctly and it's just overheating, and that's the error called 4F in this case. So now it's powering off because it's remembering that when I removed the power cord, it was powered off, so it's just powering off again. Okay, so now we can power it back on. So now we have to do a cleaning of all the colors, because we sort of so the printhead doesn't have an internal codes, unlike Epson's and unlike Canon, that every printhead has an internal decoder chip that has actually a software inside there. So there's a software piece that has a code and other things. This printhead doesn't have that. It's like the cheapest Epson printer, so it just reveals the presence of a printhead, and it's okay in that way. So the printer actually doesn't know that we have replaced the printhead. So I will just do a cleaning cycle, and as you can hear this noise. Okay, it stopped now. It was just purging the air out of the tubing. In the second section of the cleaning, that it will just start now, the louder one, so now it's taking ink from the platen of the nozzles out of there. So now it's the second pump that works. Check if I have paper inside here. Yeah, I have paper inside. So I don't think that one cleaning cycle is enough for this printer, but I will try. So as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm not sure that this printhead is perfect. I have bought this printhead from AliExpress, and it was listed as new. So I don't expect a new printhead for 20 bucks, but yeah, this should be 100% working. Obviously I checked the cartridges at the beginning of this video, and I have seen that the cartridges were completely full, or at least they had a good quantity of ink left, so I'm not scared about that. But it's always recommended to get some new and OEM cartridges inside here before replacing the printhead or doing some other stuff like this. Okay, so now it's finished. I will do a test print, quality test print, that is basically a nozzle check. So I think that's maybe the reason why a lot of people call nozzle checks test prints, because some printers call it a test print. So yeah, we still have some problems, but maybe it's because of air. So quality is not okay, and black and color is not okay, and do a cleaning cycle. So we'll do a cleaning cycle, and it's basically a second purge. So yeah. So we'll just load the same sheet of paper in this direction so we can do a direct comparison between the two. So, like so. Okay, so press start for a nozzle check. Now we'll print the nozzle check with the same sheet of paper. And you can see that the situation changed a lot. So we still have some air inside, but the black changed a lot. The magenta changed a bit, and yeah, we can work on this. So unfortunately, Brother printheads are really a nightmare in most of the cases. So you will have to, yeah, you will have to have a lot of patience to get this perfectly working, even after replacing the printhead. But yeah, that was the topic of this video. Anyway, if I won't have a perfect nozzle check, I will just take the head on the seller again and have a refund or a replacement. So I'm not scared about that. So anyway, thank you for watching this video, and see you next time.